All right, gang, now we are ready to finish this review. We graphed our line in slope-intercept form, okay, where we had the y-intercept of -4. I could have seen that right here, or I can put 0 in for x. The slope is 2/3. That told me to go from -0, -4, and go up 2 and to the right 3. It's a positive slope, so it's rising to the right, up 2 over 3. We did that as many times as we could, and we got the line. Changing it to standard form, we just subtracted 2/3 x to the other side, multiplied everything by 3 to get rid of the fraction of 2/3, and then multiplied everything by -1 because we can't have a negative coefficient in front of x for standard form. The y-intercept, like we said, was -4. If I want the x-intercept, then I have to put 0 in for y in either form. Okay? I can put 0 in for y here. -3 times 0 is 0. 2x equals 12, so x would be 6, which seems to make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The graph verifies the algebra there. 6, 0. Here I would add 4 to the other side and either divide by 2/3 or multiply by 3/2. That's 12/2 or 6. Okay, either way, doesn't matter. These equations are the same are showing the same line. Okay, we're going to use another formula besides slope, intercept, and standard. If I want to write the line that's parallel through this point, but has the same slope as our line. Okay, so it's going to go through -2, 5. It's going through -2, 5 with a slope of 2/3. All right, parallel lines have the exact same slope. So I can see what that line looks like, but I need to write the equation of it. Okay, so I'm going to say y minus the y coordinate equals the slope of the line times x minus the x coordinate. That's point slope form, a different form. Point slope. Now we usually like to change that into slope intercept form. So I will distribute, first of all, I'm going to change that to plus. We don't really write minus and negative. I just wanted to emphasize that we were subtracting the x coordinate. Distribute my 2/3 through. 2/3 times x is 2/3 x. 2/3 times 2 is 4/3. Add 5 to the other side. Let's see, 4/3 plus 5. I'm going to get my handy dandy calculator out for that, I think. Okay, so we have full, let's turn it on. That'd be good. I'll clear off what we were doing in the last video. 4/3 plus 5 is 6 1/3. Okay, if I want to change that, see what it is as a fraction, it's 19/3 or 6 1/3, either way. So, okay, I'm just going to write, I think I'm going to write plus 6 1/3 because then I can tell what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is 6 1/3. See if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little more. Yeah, that does look like 6 1/3. It doesn't matter, guys. We're in college algebra. I don't care if you write 6 1/3 or if you write 19/3. Okay, 3 times 6, 18 plus 1, 19. I don't want to see this. 6.3 is not the same as 6 1/3 or 19/3. Okay, if you write 6.3 and with the line across that, I would accept that because that's 6.3333333, which is the same. Okay, but we want to be exact in this class. Okay, the exact number. The exact y-intercept is 6 1/3 or 19/3. Now, if I went perpendicular through this point, okay, something that makes a 90, still through -2, 5, but makes a 90-degree angle with our line, then I'm going to have to use the negative reciprocal slope. So our slope was 2/3. My new slope is going to be negative, and the reciprocal, 3/2. So I still do the point slope form, y minus 5 equals negative 3/2 times x minus negative 2. And now I'm going to be taking negative 3/2 through. Negative 3/2 times 2 is negative 3. Okay, and then I'm going to add 5. Negative 3/2 x. Adding 5 to negative 3 will give me 2. And graphically, that looks about right. The y-intercept is 2. Okay, so those are lines. I wanted to emphasize that a line like this doesn't have a slope. It's undefined. I'm going through where x is always 4. So 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2. It ends up being this vertical line. This is x equals 4, and it has an undefined slope. Y equals 7 is where y is always 7. Okay, so 0, 7, 1, 7, 2, 7. If the y coordinate is always 7, then we're up here at and we have a horizontal line. And for a horizontal line, the slope is 0. Okay, y equals 7 is this horizontal line. Slope is 0. X equals 4 is a vertical line where the x coordinate is 4, and it has an undefined slope. The last thing I wanted to go over is section 1, 2. Okay, those sections, we did circles in 1, 3. We did lines in 1, 4. I had shown you solving all those equations, whether they're consistent, inconsistent, or no solution, solving linear, absolute value, and rational equations. That was 1, 1. 1, 2 were these word problems. So let's look at these. These are the types you should understand for the quiz. Steve leaves on his bike at 4. He can pedal at 10 miles per hour. Beth can pedal 12 miles per hour, but she's fiddling around and doesn't leave for 15 minutes later. How long until she catches up to him? Okay, so remember that distance equals rate times time. So Steve's distance is his rate, which is 10 miles per hour, times his time, which we don't know. How long? How long will he be riding until he looks over and says, oh, hey, Beth, there you are. So we want his distance to be the same as Beth's. Beth is a little quicker. She does 12 miles per hour, but she's going to be riding 15 minutes shorter than Steve. She was, getting her shoes on, whatever she was doing. She didn't leave for 15 minutes shorter than Steve. Here's the error, guys. A lot of people will say that the time Beth is riding is t minus 15, but that's minutes, and we're in miles per hour. I can't write 15. I have to change 15 minutes into what part of an hour 15 minutes is. It's 15 out of 60. 60 minutes in an hour. So it's 1/4 of an hour. Okay? So I have 10t equals 12t minus 3. I'm going to subtract 12t to the other side. Negative 2t equals negative 3. So t equals negative 3 over negative 2. 3/2, or it's going to take 1.5 hours. She might know. I don't know if they're riding that far. Does that seem crazy? Even though she rides a little bit faster, it doesn't make up for that 1/4 of an hour that they're both still riding. That 2 miles every hour that she kind of, catches up with him. It's going to take 1.5 hours for her to actually meet him. Okay? Rita can process a batch of insurance claims in 4 hours. Eduardo can process a batch in 2 hours. How long if they work together? This is very similar to distance equals rate times time. Okay? If Rita can do it in 4 hours, that means she can do 1/4 of the batch per hour. Eduardo, it takes him 2 hours, so he does half the batch per hour. You want to get it into per hour, like, like a rate is when we drive or ride a bike. So how long if they work together? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. He does 1/4 an hour a fourth of the job per hour. The other one does a half of the job per hour, working together to complete one job. That's the difference there. Okay. The one with distance rate times, we either have a distance that we're getting to or we're having them be equal to each other. Here they're working together to complete one job. Okay, I'm going to multiply everything by 4 to clear the denominators. 4 times a fourth is 1. 4 times a half is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. This gives me 3t equals 4. T equals 4/3. So 1 1/3 hours. 1 1 1/3 hours. Or I could say 1 hour. What's a third of an hour? A third of 60 is what? 1 hour, 20 minutes. Either way. However, that's how long it's going to take them together. Okay? Working together is a little quicker. The mixture problems. How many gallons of a 15% alcohol solution and how many gallons of a 10% alcohol solution should be mixed together to get 20 gallons that contain 12% alcohol? Okay? So how many gallons of the 15% solution? 15% of what? Plus 12%. I don't know how much that is either, but I do know that in the end, it has to add up to 20, right? When I put these together, I'm going to have 20 gallons of a 12% solution. Oh, this isn't 12, this is 10. Okay. So I have 15% of I don't know how much, plus 10% of I don't know how much, equals 12% of 20 gallons. Well, let me tell you this. If I have 5 gallons of the 15%, then I know for a fact that I have 15 gallons of the 10% because it has to add up to 20. Okay? So what I have here is actually 20 minus x, right? Does that make sense? Whatever x is, I have 20 minus that of the other solution because they have to add up to 20. It's either 10 and 10, 5 and 15, 8 and 12. Somehow they add up to 20. So I say x and 20 minus x. 0.15x, I'm going to distribute here. I get 2 minus 0.10x equals 0.12 times 20 is 2.4. 0.15 minus 0.10 is 0.5. I'm going to subtract 2 from the 2.4. Okay, you get 0.4. I'm going to take 0.4 divided by 0.5. If I can do this. And all right, sorry about that, guys. I was hurrying. And this should be 0.05. So 0.4 divided by 0.05 is 8. I was like 0.8, that doesn't make sense. So 8 gallons of the 15% solution and 12 gallons of the 10% solution is what they should mix together. Okay? Good luck. Email me if you need help. I will be glad to set aside another time to Zoom with you a little bit or just answer some questions. through email even, okay?